2, 1. Okay. We are live. This is very, very exciting. Man, we got a very, very, very special guest tonight. A young lady near and dear to heart, but she's been doing some amazing things in the business world. And I'm going to give a little bit of background information on why I'm actually going live. So we're going to let a few people get in here. But a lot of people know me for the fitness. They know me for the personal training, even the motivational speaking. Recently did an international event in the UK, author of a few books. And my big homie is this doctor, is this business consultant. We were having a conversation. About what could we do to impact the business world, the future leaders of today. A lot of people are sitting at home. A lot of people have misinformation. Everyone's becoming an entrepreneur overnight. So this young lady has so much information and so many rich things that I said, listen, let's commit ourselves to reading. The average CEO reads 5 books a month. So let's commit ourselves to reading. And then that's when she came up with the idea, well, if we're going to be reading books, if we're going to be getting information, then how about we bring other people in? So we wanted to start our Abundant Mindset Book Club, where we can just invite entrepreneurs to read books with us. And then we can just go live once a month to just talk about it. So enough for me. Let's bring this young lady right here. How you doing, Doctor?
Yeah, okay. Hey, we here.
We here. Squad. Okay, so you, Dr. Amira McCoy. I just to give a little brief introduction, man. Why they call you doctor? You like Dr. Dre? Like you good on the beats? Like what's up with
I actually did go to school.
Okay, come on, let's talk about it.
I earned it. And it's funny because there's a lot of people that do call themselves doctors and don't necessarily have the credential that goes with it. So I am a business psychologist. I went to school for industrial organizational psychology. I specifically work with businesses of all sizes to really get them to the next level. And if you're a new business owner, that's probably my specialty area right now, because there's so many people going into business for themselves after everything that has happened in 2020. I think a lot of people realize that they do have something to offer and they're ready to jump into business. So 2020 was about clarity and vision and getting on your own feet and really looking at what you can do. So if you are going into business, I can definitely help in that area.
Absolutely. You said something I want to talk about. You said 2020 people have found themselves going into business. Can I ask you, why do you think that's the case?
So I think that we all had a realization that you do not have to rely on a company to be successful. Success comes in so many different ways, and people didn't believe that they were capable of doing it until they were forced into it. So many people found their hustle when their job was not there.
Come on now, you preaching. Okay. All right, now. That brings us to why we're really here. And we are here because this is a book club. Now, the beauty of this is that, and I'm about to share this on my page before I make this point, because I got some people asking, where can they see it? We got some comments already. Dang. Oh, okay. We got some comments. Some people already tuning in. So let me just share this on the page. I got you, Frank Muhammad. 1 second, bro. I definitely got you in 1 second. So we sharing this right now. Post so people could watch. Okay. So with that being said, this is a book club, and we have a book. The book that we're reading currently is by a guy by the name of David Allen, and it's a stress-free program, and it's called Getting Things Done. Dr. Amira McCoy, you've been busy, so you ain't get to the book. Yeah, the book is called Getting Things Done, but Shorty was so busy this month doing business deals, she didn't get to the book. But let me tell y'all, it's great that she didn't get to the book, because we're going to do an outline on the book and use her as our prototype for tonight. So it's actually good. But David Allen, Getting Things Done, New York Times bestseller, amazing author, and it's about stress-free productivity. Many of us found with this quarantine that we had free time. And in finding out that we had free time, some of us weren't as productive as we would like to have been. Some of us gained weight during the quarantine. Some of us said we're going to start a business during quarantine, but just couldn't get it off the ground. So not only is Dr. Amir McCoy going to give us great business tips for the night, but we're going to address why people are so stressed all the time and they're not as productive as they would like to be. I'm going to give a scripture real fast. Amir, she finds it funny, her and her mom, that I'm always giving scripture. But 2 Thessalonians 3:11, for we hear that there are some of which will walk among us, you disorderly, working not at all, but are busy bodies. There's so many people all the time that's like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But you bump into them 6 months down the road, a year down the road, and you don't necessarily see the progress. And that's what this book by David Allen is about. It's about getting things done, but not being stressed. Okay, so we're going to read this off real quick before we get into that. Fewer than 20% of people reported that they described their goals in written form. As humans, we process visuals 60 times faster than having to imagine things. Based on a recent study by this company, writing down your goals means that you can visualize them. Dr. Amir McCoy, do you think that business people should write down their goals?
All the time. All the time. Not just write them down, but if you can see your goal physically from someone else, get that picture and make a vision board. Because some of us are literally a little bit better at visualizing, physically seeing it, than we are internalizing that something's going to happen for us. So it's always great to see it in writing. It's always great to see a picture of it. This is why Instagram is so popular, because you can see people making progress. You can see people living the life that you want to live. And that's what makes it entertaining. That's what makes you go back to it, because you know that if it can happen for X person, it can happen for you. So yeah, write it down.
Good point. That's a good point.
Should do.
So this is saying fewer than 20%. The first thing we want to say, if you get a chance, read this book by David Allen. Read this book, Getting Things Done. 20% of people, they do not write their goals down. But I got another stat for you. According to recent research, less than 3% of Americans have written goals, and less than 1% review and rewrite their goals on a daily basis. So the reviewing process, many people write down their goals. Many people create a vision board in January, and they don't see their vision board again to December 31st. How does that affect your goals, Dr. Amir McCoy?
So it's huge, right? Because if you think about it, you have, for those of you that are still within companies, you are being performance managed. So they give you a goal in January that they're checking in with you maybe every 3 months. Some companies are real good and you're getting regular one-on-one check-ins every month to see how you're progressing towards that goal. So at the end of the year, when they determine whether you were good enough for that bonus or that promotion, they have all of these things to go back to of where you missed your goal, where you had to adjust your goal, and how you differentiate from your peer. That is something you have to do in your own business. That's something you have to do for yourself. If you're not checking in on your goal on a regular basis, you're going to get through the year and the entire vision has changed. And it's changed because you didn't keep yourself on track with what you want and what you're doing. You allowed yourself to veer, and wherever you veered to is where you ended up. And some people are okay with that. They go with the flow. But you don't end up where you want it to go. And if you want to end up where you want to go, you have to make sure that you're staying on track and checking those boxes on a regular basis, not just once a year.
You are part of the Abundant Mindset Book Club. Getting Things Done is the book of the month by David Allen. It's a stress-free way to productivity. If you find yourself consistently stressed, if you find yourself consistently being extremely busy but not being productive, we have Dr. Amir McCoy tuned in from McCoy Consultant USA. This young lady's been featured in Forbes. She's my business mentor. She has helped me launch many of my ideas off the ground. A lot of people see me on those stages, see me in front of those crowds, see me on TV, and they never get a chance to see one of the people that is behind the scenes that's making a lot of things happen. So we're talking to her today because this is the book club. Every single month, we're going to be reading books on sales, marketing, leadership, and organization. So we can use this year to not only have great ideas, but to also have great execution. All right. So the Getting Things Done method is 5-part. All right. It's called the GTD method. The GTD method by David Allen is 5-part. 1 is to capture, 2 is to clarify, 3 is to organize, 4 is to reflect, and 5 is to decide what to do. Question, Amir, we're going to do this live since we have all these people tuned in. We're going to do this live. What is your biggest business issue right now? What's on your mind heavy? What was you thinking about before we even got on this live? What you thinking? Where you at?
Social media marketing is my,
okay.
I can't stand it.
Social media marketing. Okay. So what aspect of social media marketing? Like kind of expound on that a little bit.
It is so time consuming. As a business owner, you want to keep your business out front. You want to keep people coming to your business. You want to keep finding that potential client. But when I tell you, making a post, posting it, and following up and keeping that consistent every single day with the right branding and the right ideas to really kind of, make your brand on social media. It is difficult. It is not easy. Like I think it's easier as an individual to post because you're posting a picture of yourself or your family or where you're at. When you're posting for a business, you're talking colors, branding, not saying the wrong thing. You gotta really fine line of attracting people. And then of course, making sure that it's in compliance with all the social media rules so that you can promote it. It's a lot that goes behind the scenes on that.
Question. Have you ever been out with friends, been out to dinner, enjoying yourself, and in the back of your mind, you're thinking about your social media marketing? Has that ever happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's perfect. Yeah. Now we're being completely transparent.
Mm-hmm.
The Getting Things Done method by David Allen isn't just about being productive. It's about clearing mind space. So what David Allen says, and he starts off the book, he says the mind is created to be able to be creative. So your mind is for getting ideas, not for storing ideas. So David Allen says in his book that our mind is just a really, really junky office. So as we have ideas, we should never keep ideas in our head. It was a story told about Albert Einstein. A guy came up to Albert Einstein and they had a conversation. At the end of the conversation, he asked Albert Einstein for his phone number. And Albert Einstein said, I don't know my phone number. So he's like, wait, whoa. You're this genius. You're this brilliant man. You've accomplished all these things. You don't know your phone number? Why don't you know your phone number? And he said, because I know where my phone number is stored. So I can just go and read my phone number off, but I don't want to have my phone number stored in my mind because I have so many other ideas and things to do in my mind. So many of us, our minds are cluttered with the ideas. So we're going to stay on that point with Dr. Amir McCoy, the business consultant. Clarify what exactly you would like from social media marketing. Just talk it out to me.
So I want social media marketing to be useful for me by way of attracting my clientele. Otherwise, what am I on here for?
What are you doing it for? Nah, that's real. Okay. So what would be the outcome if you attract new clientele?
The outcome is my business grows. I continue to expand. New clients in and of itself is marketing. If I attract one client, that's 5 more for me because that client's going to leave happy. They're going to tell their friends. They're going to come back. So one person is equivalent to 5 for me. So social media is bringing in a good number of people every week. My business is going to grow exponentially over time as long as I'm offering a service that I'm proud of and is authentic to me and is actually delivering results for the clients.
Okay. Then question, do you have what you would want from social media marketing? Do you have that written down where you can clearly read it or look at it on a consistent basis?
Yes.
Okay. So those are top 3 things. 1, being able to capture your thoughts, your goals. 2, being able to clarify. 3, being organized. Now, the 4th is to reflect. Look at where you are as far as progress. Once a week, David Allen says we should take 2 hours to go over everything. He says what this does is build our brain muscles. And what it does is it builds our ability to focus on maintenance of our ideas because a lot of our ideas need to be fine-tuned. Now, the 5th one, decide what to do. Some people with this decision phase, they just want to go harder. I have someone that wants to lose weight and they're just like, I'm going to go crazy in the gym Monday and Tuesday. All right, going crazy in the gym Monday or Tuesday makes you feel great, but that's not how you accomplish your goal. Getting things done isn't about getting things done. So we are called human beings, right? So many of us never get to enjoy ourselves in the present because we don't know how to store ideas. So the getting things done method is about storing your ideas, reflecting on ideas, even bringing other people into your ideas that can maybe assist with that. So is that making sense, Dr. Amira McCoy?
That's making perfect sense. I would even go as far as to say that when, as long as we've worked together, I know the work ethic of having to get something done. It takes time. You have to commit to it. You have to reflect. You have to be critical of what you put out there by way of improving yourself. If you don't go through that process of reviewing everything every week, you might end up on a road where it's not the company you wanted to build. So I go through a reflection process probably every night. I don't
every night. Wow.
I don't sleep. When everybody goes to bed, I am still up. I am up till 2 and 3 in the morning reviewing what happened that day, because while working hours are happening, I'm actually executing for clients. So it takes a whole nother part of the day to reflect on what I did right, what I could do better, how I can expand my service, what else I can offer, really looking at those packages to come out the next day better than I was before. And over time, you find yourself just habitually doing it if you're a business owner.
Okay, one of the things we want to know, we got some people tuned in. If you want a free copy of the Getting Things Done book by David Allen, send us an email at ChicagoFit4Life@Yahoo, ChicagoFit4Life@Yahoo. We want to make sure everyone gets a copy of this book. Profound, life-changing information about organizing your daily schedule, being stress-free, but also being productive. We're in a climate where everyone's an entrepreneur. Share the video. We want to make sure that we're going to give a lot of good tidbits for people. So as you're working on your business, you're working on your ideas, you're working on growth, that you can be stress-free and just productive. Okay. Dr. Amira McCoy, we got something. Got it from the book. I'm going to give you this. It is known through different studies that our most productive time, where a person is completely focused, getting things done, is right before they go on a trip or a vacation. Right before someone goes on a trip or vacation, they are focused. They're machines. Yeah. Okay. Now you say you believe that. Why do you think that is?
We're natural procrastinators.
Okay.
Natural. Okay. We know, and you could be sitting at your job right now listening to this, and you probably ain't did no work all day because you know you can get most of it done in the last 45 minutes before you leave. So because we're natural procrastinators, and some of us are so good at our jobs that we don't need to be there 8 hours a day, but we got to be there 8 hours a day. So we'll just get that work done either as soon as we get there so that we can enjoy the rest of our day surfing the internet, or right before we leave, or right before we know you're going to ask for it. That's the same thing with going on vacation, leaving the office. You focus on everything that you got to get done. So when you get back, it's not piled up. No one's waiting on you. You get it out the door. You can do it all in a day. In some cases, there's very few jobs that are white collar where you can't do that. Blue collar jobs a little bit different because you're actually on the ground in manufacturing, and there is an assembly line or something of that nature. But if you're in a job where you are hired for your mental capacity to complete work on a computer, you're likely procrastinating a lot of your day.
Okay. I got something else. I've got something else from the book for everybody. I see Aisha Mason tuned in. Your toughest work is defining what your work is. Now, that's from a guy by the name of Peter Drucker. He's an Austrian management consultant, educator, author who's quoted in the book. So he says, your toughest work is defining what your work is. Can you speak to defining exactly what your job is, Amira McCoy? But doctor, let me say this. You've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? It's one of the reasons that it's not our book because everybody read that book.
Yep.
But it's a question that was posed in the book by Bob Kiyosaki, where he said that he asked an individual, what does McDonald's do? And he said, oh, McDonald's is a burger business. And the reply is no. McDonald's is a real estate business. So if you open up a McDonald's because you really want to sell burgers and you don't understand the business aspect, then you're going to have a very slow progressive McDonald's. But Dr. Amir McCoy, can you speak to defining what your work is?
Let me just start by saying it took me maybe 3 years to define what a business psychologist was, what it meant for me to be a business psychologist, and how that is impactful to any business owner that's out there. It took a lot of back and forth in regards to what I can offer, what I can do. It really took me it took an understanding of being able to sell someone something that they can't see. Being able to sell intelligence, that is a hard sell because everybody wants something in their hands. They want to be able to see it, whether it's ordering something on Instagram and getting an actual piece of cloth in your hand. You feel like your money went somewhere. But when you are buying intelligence or advice or something that you just can't see, you can't exchange it hand to hand, it is a harder sale. A lot of people don't think they need therapy. They don't want to talk to anyone. A lot of people don't think they need psychologists. They don't understand the purpose. But when I tell you that I am really in the business of sharing knowledge and pointing you in the direction that you didn't think to go, because that's not your background to think of that first. I'm in the business of diversity of mind, diversity of thought. I'm in a thought leadership area. That's a hard sell. So I'm constantly looking for ways to help people understand why they need it, why it's important, how you see people like Bill Gates get to where they are in their life and in their business and not know that they have 25 advisors around them and 7 coaches before they even launch the business, to understand the purpose of having this capacity of knowledge or someone that can give you that knowledge is so important in what I do, but it's such a hard sell.
Okay.
I'm settled on what I do. Is the people that do understand it, they're not as they're easier to gain as a client, but the people that I want to have as clients, they're a hard sell.
You mentioned somebody, Bill Gates. Bill Gates has 24 hours in a day. Steve Jobs had 24 hours in a day. Oprah has 24 hours in a day. Jay-Z's 24 hours in a day. In the book, David Allen says it's never an issue of time. He says, a person says, if I had more time, I'd be more productive. But the reality of the situation is, if they had 26 hours and not 24 hours, they would have 2 more hours of stress added to their lives. They wouldn't have 2 more hours of productivity. This quarantine has shown that. How many people before we were in quarantine said, if I just had some time to exercise, I would do it? I got that. So many people said that. The reason I'm not in shape is that I just don't have no time. And they found themselves sitting at home 24 hours a day and they didn't gain 20 pounds. So time is not the issue, according to David Allen in this book, Getting Things Done, right? It's something else that he says. He says it's about how efficient we are. So it's a quote that I wrote down from the book. It says that nature gets a lot of things done, but you've never seen nature stressed and you've never seen nature worried. So it says that that in nature, it's very productive. They grow fruit, they knock down trees, it's hurricanes, it's sunny days, but nature is never stressed, but we're always stressed. Anybody that's here right now, can you write why you're always stressed? What's the thing that really stresses you out? And Dr. Amir McCoy, I want you to be transparent. Where do you find your biggest stressor coming from?
Now, I will say the refrigerator got bigger when quarantine.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
It's the biggest thing in the kitchen all of a sudden.
Like, man, it be calling me.
I stopped by that 22 times today. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, me too. It's like the door don't even close. I'm like, man, I need like a glass door in the refrigerator because I just want to see what's in it. I just want to see what's in it. I know what's in it. Come on. What's
crazy is like this is I think partly what they talk about getting things done, right? We're in this environment where everything is so quick and so fast and so readily available. We are not used to sitting down with our own thoughts. We're not used to meditation. we are not used to just having regular conversations anymore. We're text messaging, we're video chatting. We cannot be alone without something. It has to be a TV on, it has to be a radio on, it has to be a game piece, or the refrigerator. For every 22 times I went to it, it was me looking to fill in a gap of space that I didn't want to deal with my own thoughts. When in truth, we have to at some point learn that our entire existence is about being able to get to know ourselves and get to know that divine that is within us. And that is going to take going into that meditative state, learning how to do yoga, learning the benefits of exercise, learning why these things are useful for you, learning what to eat in order to get the best out of your body. Learning all of those things also takes energy and effort to want to go that route. And in most cases, we're thinking about, well, tomorrow I gotta get back up and sign into this computer, and it's just like, I might as well be going to a job. So instead of doing that, I'm just not gonna do anything tonight. I'm gonna rest tonight. And that ends up being every single night.
I got a question for you that was posed in the book. David Allen said, how many people are doing just exactly what they're hired to do? He said, how many people are doing just what they're hired to do? And he said that many people aren't doing what they're hired to do. They're doing a lot more. And with more and more and more comes that stress, because we cannot compartmentalize things that we are supposed to be doing. So let's do it again. We're going to use the getting things done method again, because we got a new group in here. So Dr. Amira McCoy, tell me something right now. And we can go to anything. We can go health, we can go relationship, we can go business, we can go anything. Tell me something that you need to get done. It can be as simple as it is. Tell me something.
What I need to get done. I need to get this shoveling outside on my sidewalk done.
All right, shoveling. Let's go with shoveling.
I've been watching people all day praying that they'll slip and fall and try to call on the building or something. But it needs to happen. It needs to be scheduled. It needs to happen. But it's difficult to put everybody's issues into what you have to get done that day, because for me, I'm president of the HOA, so I gotta be the HOA manager, and I now have to worry about my own life as well. It's a lot, and it's not a time issue. It's just a lot.
Question. What would be the next action step for you getting your driveway clear? What would be the next action step?
The best action step for me would be to call someone and pay them to do it.
Okay. The way that the book is set up is that if your next action step takes less than 2 minutes, he says you have to do that, because once you clear, he said, getting things done is about making room. It's not about being efficient. It's about making room, because guess what? As you're making a call about something else, the snow is on your mind. As you're watching TV, the shoveling is on your mind. And these things don't go anywhere. Okay, we got something from Miss Aisha Mason. My biggest stressor is probably my own thoughts. Meditation helped me, but I tend to let any change disrupt my consistency. Ooh, you said something, sister.
Staying consistent with meditation is difficult. Period. Difficult.
Break that down.
It's one of those things where you start it, you feel real good, you're going with it. This is why we need accountability partners, because we do stuff on our own and we can feel the change and we love it. But then eventually something's going to come up, something's going to happen, and you get further and further and further away from it, right back to where you were before you started that particular thing, whether it's yoga or exercise or just home meditation, whatever the case may be. When you're in a class with someone that is accountable for you being there, or you have a trainer like a Sadiq, when you're paying your money, you show up because you don't want to waste those dollars. This is the same way I feel about like this whole having to shovel the driveway. The only reason I haven't made the calls is because I don't want to pay the money. I could do it myself. But when you pay your money, you're committed to it getting done for you. So you're going to go to that trainer. You're going to go to that class. You need the accountability in some cases.
Fifth rule is about making the decision. We're about to address Miss Aisha Mason. For everybody that's just tuning in, we're going to put her right here on here. She was saying her biggest stressor is probably her own thoughts. Meditation helps, but she tends to lack any change to disrupt her consistency. Well, I got a quote from the book. I took a lot of notes, man. I feel like I'm an expert on this thing, and I've been actually applying it too. It actually does bring peace. David Allen says in a book, flexibility trumps perfection. He says, I need the ability to shift my focus and to shift it rapidly. And that's what makes him an expert on getting things done. So guess what? If we are not flexible in our approach to things, if we're very rigid in our approach, then we find ourselves actually frustrating ourselves with our own approach. So read it again. Flexibility trumps perfection. When you hear flexibility trumps perfection, Dr. Amira McCoy, what does that mean to you?
I think that means, one, we won't always be perfect. It's better for us to have room for error and be able to fix it versus not getting something done because we're literally worried about perfection. So this happens with a lot of people that want to start a business, right? They'll say, well, I can't start because I don't have XYZ, or the what I want to sell is not the exact thing. It's not where it should be yet. Your business is going to evolve the same way you evolve, the same way your clients evolve. So before committing to having a perfect startup, start where you are, get it done, get the startup out there, because before you get your foot out the door, you've likely changed your business 10 to 20 times, depending on what it is specifically, especially for people that want to write a book. They always start with, I know exactly what I want to say, or I'm not exactly sure how I want to say it, but this is what I want to get across. I always say, write. Just start writing. Write it down, because after you go through the editing process and you've written 500 pages and they've edited it down to 250, it's going to be a completely different book. It happens all the time. So you might just write everything that you think you might want, could possibly make it into the book, because the likelihood of all of that coming together, it's more likely that it's going to come together if you give more information than what you're willing to give. But so many people are not flexible with themselves that they won't release that information, and it ends up just being another missed opportunity.
Okay. Another aspect of the book is being present, active engagement. So as we're sitting here talking, if something else is running across your mind, it's because you have not dealt with it. It's not because you haven't finished it. Some things you can, if Amira, who used the example of the snow, if she made the call before we got on the live, then it wouldn't cross her mind, because she made a decision to make a call. She knows she didn't send the Cash App, a Zelle, a Quick Pay, something, but she made a decision. Now, whether it's somebody's out there snowing at this exact moment, it doesn't factor in. But our brains are cluttered with so much junk because we don't do step number 5, which is make a decision. Now, it's an aspect of the book that I want to read out loud. It says, crisis can produce a calm that is rare to find at times. The question is why? Because it demands it. Have you had a crisis in your life, Dr. Amira McCoy?
I have a crisis every day.
Oh, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Crisis every day. Come on. Every day.
It's a crisis every day. Every day.
There you go. Well, now, when we are in a crisis-like state, right? Let's go extreme. Doctor calls you. He says, hey, man, I know we haven't talked in a week. I want to let you know your test results are back. You got cancer. That's crazy. That's devastating. Now, post that conversation, the only thing you think about is what? Cancer.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing on your mind. So you like, man, that has monopolized your thoughts. So you didn't think about it the day before. You didn't think about it 2 days before, 3 days before. And all of your attention is focused on that one thing. Some of us in the business world, and some of us, the way we approach things, we have to have our thoughts completely monopolized on our goal until we're not focused on our goal. If you are tucking your kids in the bed at night, you shouldn't be thinking about calling somebody to shovel the snow. You shouldn't be thinking about this, thinking about that, because you don't ever get to be present in the moment. And what I got from the book is that many of us never get to enjoy aspects of our lives, not because we didn't get things done, it's because we didn't even write down how we were going to approach to get things done. Is that making sense?
Makes complete sense. I also think that this is why people are addicted to a lot of social media, because that one picture that you took 5 years ago where you were so worried about getting a good photo on that vacation, you didn't really enjoy the vacation. Now you look back and it's like, man, I want to go back there. I really wish I had did more when I was there. It's a reminder of where you were, but you can't seem to, bring the same feeling and emotion up because you didn't really enjoy it while you were in the midst of it.
Wow. Okay. That brings us to another point in the book. You said something heavy with that. The biggest issue most people have is that they are addicted to their stress. David Allen says most people are addicted to having a stress life. They like to say, I'm over here, I'm over there, I'm spread thin, and you and I are in that generation. She tuned in, Miss Aisha Mason, who has amazing products, by the way. We want to make sure we promote her as well. But a lot of people like to say that they're busy and they're doing a lot of things because it makes them feel that they're saying that I got a lot going on. So I train a lady. She's really up there. When I say up there, I mean busy. Money, busy, working, 80-hour work week. Just has a lot to do. She's an equity partner and a managing partner. Most people, from the business world, most people usually aren't both. So she's a partner of her firm in two different ways. And she works out with me 3 times a week for an hour. She has said that that's something she's going to do. She's busy. Now, the person that gets about 15 hours of TV in a week, they didn't watch back-to-back Law and Order episodes, when they tell me they're busy, I'm like, well, she really is leaving work at 7 and 8 o'clock at night, like in real life. She's really working out with me at 4:45 a.m. because that's the only time she has open. So when you say you're too busy and you have all of this going on, are you just addicted to stress? And you've worked with a lot of businesses as a consultant. Do you see some people that say that they're too busy, but they're really not in your line of work?
All the time. I actually think that some people are, they want to be a certain person, or they want to portray a certain lifestyle. And that means that they can't be available. Because if they're available to everybody, then they're not living that lifestyle. So from a perspective of like, can they make the time for what they want? Yes, they can make the time for what they want. But what they really want is for people to think that they don't have the time. So that's part of the game. It's like, I could make the time to come to your party or celebrate your birthday or this book club, but I don't want you to think I got the time. So I don't have the time to do that.
You said something. Many people want you to think
all the time.
You said something. Many people want you to think that they don't have the time. I like that. That's something extremely profound. What we want to do too, we want to make sure everyone, Chicago Fit for Life at yahoo.com, Chicago Fit the number 4 life at yahoo.com. If you want a free copy of David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, a stress-free way for productivity. Amazing read. We want to, if you have any suggestions, we want to read books by John C. Maxwell, Brian Tracy, a lot of different authors, and we want to just be able to come on here, bring everyone in, and we just discuss how the books impacted our lives, the information. You got some of the basics. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's a must read. Rich Dad Poor Dad is definitely a must read. Anything on leadership by John C. Maxwell. But this book stood out to me. When I say I read it, and it really, really impacted the way that I need to structure my to-do list. Let's go back to the beginning. I want to make sure everybody gets this point. Less than 3% of the population writes down their goals. Less than 3% writes down their goals. less than 1% reviews their goals daily. Dr. Amir McCoy, very, very productive individual in business, and she knows how to get things done. Can you tell people a little bit about McCoy Consulting before we get out of here? What does your company do?
Yeah, so and before I even get to that, let me address what you were just saying about the 3%.
Come on with it. Come with it.
Y'all can't see it here, but I got books on books on books from a perspective of my own writing. This McCoy Consulting was birthed out of me writing it down on a regular basis. What I knew for sure was that I didn't want to work for nobody. I knew that for sure. I didn't know what I was going to be doing, but I knew I didn't want to work for nobody. So I started with storefronts and what that would look like if I had one. Didn't know what I was selling, but the storefront was real cute. I would draw it in a book. I literally had a vision of being a business owner and had no service or product to sell. It was a matter of visualizing myself as an owner first, as someone that was independent of being managed by someone, in order for me to later on really start to cultivate my skill set into what I wanted to do for people.
Do you feel visualization works? Can you speak to visualization?
I think visualization is a must-have, especially when you're a person that only sees reality in pictures, which I think majority of the United States, they are very picture photo driven. We are visual people. If they can't see it, they don't really believe it. And even when they see it, sometimes the interpretation is not what you would think it is. But when you can visualize it and actually see what you want, whether that's a house or a physical business or the type of clients that you want to help, once you're looking at that every single day, that starts to materialize in your life in a way that it is supernatural and unexplainable. If you can visualize seeing your best friend and then get a call from them, that is something that naturally happens because you're putting, and I think this goes to, you mentioned Think and Grow Rich. This goes to having that mental state of what you want and using that vibration to attract those things to you. It's the whole law of attraction that comes into play. So visualization is like, I think the baby steps to that. I don't actually need a vision board anymore because my vision is so big, it don't fit on the board no more. So I have to literally work at it and think about it every night and of what that picture looks like. Eventually, you graduate from boards to just really understanding that all of this is any and everything that you want, you are capable of achieving, but you have to be very, very strict on yourself in regards to getting to those goals.
All right, you said something. We about to wrap this up, but some more notes from the book I'm gonna give everybody. David Allen says you can't mismanage 5 minutes and come up with 6. If you cannot manage 5 minutes, you do not mismanage time and get more time. He said that's a huge misconception. He talked about how someone can wake up at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night and say, oh, I forgot to feed the cat, not because they didn't feed the cat or they didn't grab the cat food. It's because they don't have a system set up to when they're going to get the cat food. Being present in the moment. The 5 steps of the getting things done method is 1, capture, write down every single thing you have to do, every single thing you have to get done, all of your health things, all your relationships. If you need to mow the grass, if you need to shovel the snow, you write it down. The second step of the getting things done method by David Allen is to clarify. You need clarity to your goals. What exactly do these things mean that you wrote down? Actionable steps. I should be able to grab a hold of your to-do list, and I should be able to do some things on your to-do list. If you have down on your to-do list, call Chauncey, the snow shoveling guy at 773, and I come across your list, I should be able to grab your list and say, hey man, I could call Chauncey, the shoveling guy, and I pay him $20. I should be able to get your to-do list and do some things on the list. The third thing you have to do is you have to organize. That means everything doesn't need to be on one list. But what you need to do is put a list. You might have a relationship list. Some people do amazing in business, but they fall short in relationships. You should have a health list. Some people make a whole bunch of money in business and then die because they have a heart attack. You need to organize things. The fourth is the reflection. This is the area I'm extremely weak in, and this is the book really pushes this. You do not know, when Dr. Amir McCoy said you have to visualize things, you don't even know if your visualization method work if you don't go back and look over your goals. So reflecting. Dr. Amir McCoy and myself, years, we met, discussed goals. And 5, decide what you're going to do. You shouldn't be able to name 2 or 3 things. I got a girl I'm training right now. She dating 2 guys. I said, you're going to lose both of them because you won't make a decision. Make a decision when it comes to things, or life will make a decision for you. Doing more than just going harder or working longer hours. Getting things done is not about getting things done. It's about having things organized. But it says this also. You may need to really pay attention to something that's not on your list. Add it to your list because you don't know how to be present. Hold on, we got some more going. It's like walking into a grocery store without a list. You miss an ingredient every time. Oh, that was a great analogy, Miss Aisha Mason. When you walk into a grocery store without a list, you will always miss an ingredient. And guess what ingredient you're gonna miss? One of the main ones. You making a whole cake and forget sugar. How I forget sugar and milk? You done got everything. But that was an amazing point. Dr. Amir McCoy, what can we find on your website?
So I just redid my website, so I'm really happy about this because that was on my list.
Getting things done.
I had it on my list for this new year, so I'm proud of myself because I got my little planner right here, everything you said.
Oh, I like that.
And I went through my planner from 2020 and went back over what I started with. And let me tell you, I checked a lot of boxes.
Okay, come on. That reflection.
Move to this year along with some new goals, so I really need y'all to get on that. I used to really get off track with my planner. I start real good in January, and by March, the planner was who knows where. I have my planner now. My planner goes everywhere with me. It is right there. It is a nice checklist. I do not miss appointments. I try to, make sure that my day is as productive as possible. So I completely agree with all of those checks that David Allen mentions in the book. So from a website perspective, if you are a business owner, or even just an individual that needs information on starting your own business or changing careers, we do consulting, coaching, classes, and content writing, everything from ghostwriting to co-writing. So if you're looking to write your book, that is also something that we can help you with. Also recently launched a class, and I'm really excited about this class because if you are looking to be a thought leader, like a Sadiq or like myself, so I think what's great about Chicago Fit for Life is it's not just him being a trainer, but it's him being a speaker, it's him being on panels, it's him being on major TV shows. If you want to get to that and you want to be what we call a thought leader, he's a health fitness thought leader. The leaders are the ones that are telling you what's on the curve, what's coming, how to adjust the type of body that you have. They're the ones that's really giving this information to people that are doing the work every single day. And I think to get in that particular category, I just launched a thought leader toolkit with only 100 spots. And the first day I launched it, half the spots are gone. So if you are interested in grabbing one of those spots, you might want to get on the website and contact us so that we can get it over to you. Definitely something that is moving real quick. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram at McCoy Consulting LLC or Facebook, McCoy Consulting LLC.
We're gonna make sure all of that. We're gonna make sure all of that's on the video.
We'll add all that so you guys can see it. But
absolutely,
you get all the information from there, and of course, on the email list for those of you that want that free information on a regular basis, we send out info once a month, grant opportunities, and free money that you can get to, stuff like that.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you for everyone that tuned in. What we're gonna do is Dr. McCoy and myself, We're going to email everyone tomorrow the next book that we're going to be reading. What we're trying to do is get free copies of the books so you can read a book. And we're dedicating this year to self-improvement. Sitting down 30 minutes a day. They say the average CEO reads 5 books a month. And we're reading 1 book a month. So, so we're building our way up, but we're getting audio versions and papers of the book. So some people that can't actually just sit down and read, you can listen to the audio version. But this book, Getting Things Done, Stress-Free Way for Productivity by David Allen, was an amazing, amazing read. And Dr. Amir McCoy, thank you. We partners. So, everybody, so everybody will know. But we definitely partners. So we got some amazing things for some people. This is going to be a huge year for everybody. We want everybody to be in shape. We want everybody to be productive. This is going to be your best year. And you cannot use the excuse that you don't have the time, because guess what? You have nothing but time. So COVID time. You already know what it is. So thank you for everybody that tuned in. Be on the lookout for the next book. We want to build. This year is all about building and growth and development. Shout out to the GDs. All right, cuz. We gonna talk. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.